Okay. There are curses that you can pick up for being of the world, right? I've spoken of curses a few different times, usually in mentioning like common scenario where we pick up curses and it affects us in different kind of ways. Like I talked about like how I used to be a whore and how me being a whore, I picked up what's the word? The one where you really sad. I picked that up. And I was really depressed. I was depressed for like 9, 10, 11 years or something like that. I talked about that. That's like a common curse that people pick up in that common scenario. But this time we're going to talk about another one, right? So you can pick up curses from being of the world. But these curses aren't just to curse you. They all do something, bro. Like they all like have status effects. It's like they have a status effect that is to stop you from doing something else. And like if you find yourself picking up, like if you have like any kind of vice, anything that you are addicted to, right? You'll usually find that there is an immediate downside to that vice. Like if you are a gambling addict, right? You're going to spend all your money. And spending all your money will turn into you accruing debt, which will drown you over time. Honestly, ain't got to be too much time if you doing it enough. But the one that I want to talk about is discipline, right? I can remember a time when I was a child. I can remember growing up and being very disciplined, not in everything because I was a child and I was still who I am, but I can remember being very disciplined about money. We grew up poor, very poor. We grew up very poor. And so when I started making money, when I got my first job, I was very diligent about saving it. It took me a long time to even buy my first pair of shoes. And like usually when people get money, like they ball out. Like their favorite thing is what they do. I wasn't buying Jordans, none of that, bro. My first pair of shoes that I bought myself was Converse. They was $40. I loved it. But I can remember being young and being very diligent in my finances. I remember starting my 401k. I remember having a savings account. I remember that once I quit my job, that I had been there so long and had completely forgot about my savings account. And like 4 or 5 years after I quit my job, I remember that account had maxed out. So they had to cut me a check for it. And they just sent me like a $4,000 or $5,000 check in the mail. I remember being very diligent about my finances for quite some time too. But I was also young and impressionable. And I was like everybody else. I had some desires in my heart and I didn't have a relationship with God. Those desires, those wants that you have in you, if you don't know what to do with it, if you don't know how to channel that in a positive way, you will only turn it in. It will be some kind of brokenness. You're going to mishandle it and you're going to do something wrong and you're going to wind up cursing yourself, which is what I did. I became a whore. I was like, you know what? I'm funny I'm going to use that to my advantage. And I did. And I used how funny I am to laugh women out of their draws. And I did it for a long time, bro. I did that for a long time. Just years and years of being a whore. And eventually, no, you know what? You immediately pick up spirits, right? Like, as soon as you have sex with somebody, you pick up spirits. You're trading the spirits that they have with the spirits that you have, and whatever they were dealing with, you also deal with now too. And while some people might not be dealing with a whole lot, or might be dealing with something that you in particular are strong against, right? If you keep going like I did, eventually you're going to come up with a bad matchup. And if you know anything about personalities, right, you'll find that usually people who are funny also have some kind of hole in them, right? They are generally empty inside. Sometimes they are holding down a lot of sadness. A lot of funny people are depressed or repressed, and etc. And that's who I like. I like funny women, right? I like funny women and I like smart women, which usually go hand in hand. But years and years of being a whore and picking up all of these spirits, eventually I picked up depression. And the depression, like the kind of depression that I picked up, is the kind where you don't have energy to do anything, bro. Like, I had enough, like, I could handle my obligations and nothing more. If I wasn't obligated to do it, if I wasn't being dragged into doing this thing, it wasn't getting done. I remember like only having enough energy to go to work and come home and be a whore for a second and take a shower and go to sleep and do that over and over again. And I remember that for years, bro. For years, and you would think that you would get tired of doing that, but I didn't have energy to even question the cycle that I was in. But the depression came in, like, I didn't know I was depressed first off, because it was like depression was like a foreign concept to me. I don't think I'd ever knew anyone who was depressed. I never ran into anybody who knew anything about depression. It's not something that I could see and go, ooh, depression. So like, it was a super foreign concept, especially for who I was, because like, I'm up all the time. I'm happy. I'm up all the time, 24/7. And even when I'm down, I'm not down for long. I'm down and then I'm back up. So depression was like culture shock almost. But the depression combated my drive to do anything. It took away my diligence. It robbed me of my discipline, which honestly might have been like a grace for me, because like I've always been like smart. I've always been that way, and I don't think I should. On the path that I was on, I would have gotten rich eventually. I don't even think it would have took me that long to do. I would have gave it 5-10 years max, because I would have figured out investing or real estate, and it just would have happened. But I think not getting that so young is a grace for me, because if I had been a whore and I would have been rich, I don't know what would have happened. But like I said, I don't know what direction these videos is going in, bro. I have no clue. I don't even know what I'm talking about no more. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. You can, the good thing in you that you like, right? So with me, it was my discipline. That was like one of the good things, one of the positive traits that I had, my discipline. And I got it back now. It took me so long, bro. Like, how old was I then? 20? Yeah, I was 20. I'm 35 now. That's how long it took me to get it back. That's how long it took me to get it back. Okay, so the good thing about you, right? Maybe your thing is not discipline. But whatever that good thing is, right? Being of the world, you can lose that thing, bro. You can lose that thing. You can curse yourself, and that thing can be taken away from you for a time, or I don't know, maybe you never get that thing back. Maybe, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But I will say this. Hold on. Or do I make this another video? Let me see. Hold on. Give me a hot second. What was I going to call that? I was going to call that full circle. Yeah, that's going to be another video. Okay. I feel like this is a good enough video. I feel like this is good enough to end it here. So, like and subscribe. Peace out, GG's. Deuces.